Hey everyone, it's Dr. Tally here again with Spero CBD. So today we're going to be looking at CBD capsules versus oil. Today I believe is our 12th installment of these Instagram live sessions. And this will be one of our last live sessions for this series. However, we will be doing other things in the near future to have more engagement as well as providing more educational content regarding CBD. So our first question today is, how are CBD capsules different than CBD oil? So there's a couple of ways that these are made. So CBD capsules can come in hard shell or soft shell gel capsules. Most people seem to prefer the soft gel capsule. It makes it easier to swallow as compared to the hard gel capsule. And then the other option is CBD oil, which is something that is placed a few drops underneath the tongue using an eyedropper, left there for about 30 to 60 seconds or so, and then that can be absorbed into the body very quickly. So those are the nuts and bolts there of the capsules versus oil. So the question that you hear very commonly with CBD is, can CBD capsules or oil get you high? And just to be absolutely clear, the answer is no. So when you have a pure CBD product, the amount of THC is either very small, trace amounts less than 0.3% in full spectrum CBD products, or essentially 0% in broad spectrum CBD products. Now, if you are in a state with recreational marijuana being legal, you should be cautious because some of those products may contain higher amounts of THC than a CBD only product. And in those instances, they will get you high. But if it's a pure CBD product, the chances of it getting you high are exceedingly rare, and it should not happen. So are CBD capsules better than oil? We've touched on this a little bit before, but I think the main thing here is it's going to be consumer preference. What works best for you? So some people don't like the idea of having the oil sit in their mouth. It's not an unpleasant flavor, but some people just don't like the consistency of oil, or having to have that held in their mouth for about a minute or so. So some people want to swallow the capsule. The oil, however, does get absorbed better. It goes directly to the bloodstream underneath the tongue there. There's a good amount of blood vessels, bypasses the liver, so more of the CBD actually reaches the bloodstream. It doesn't get broken down. So in terms of a value perspective, the oil will be a little bit better because you're going to get a higher percentage. Sometimes almost twice as much can get into the bloodstream. So that's the advantage of the oil. And then we touched on earlier, for those that prefer to not have the oil, can just take a capsule. It's easy to swallow. So should you start with CBD capsules or oil? Now, this all again comes down to preference, but I kind of touched on it a little bit ago. It comes down to value and also the ease for which it can be administered. So some people will likely find that the value that they get from the oil is better because, like I said, the bioavailability absorption is better. So therefore, you will need to take less product to get a similar effect because the higher amount of CBD getting into the bloodstream and getting to where it needs to go to take effect will be much higher when you're using the oil under the tongue than the capsules that you swallow by mouth. So our last question today on our kind of short Instagram live is, can you switch between CBD capsules and CBD oil? And the answer is yes. I mean, besides what I touched on before, that you might have to adjust the dosage, the amount you're taking to account for that bioavailability difference. You may essentially have to take about half the amount of the product or milligrams listed in a serving because the oil that will go into your tongue, like I said, is more effective at being absorbed. So outside of that, you should be free to switch back and forth. Just be cautious, as I said, if you're going from capsules to oil, as you'll start to absorb more CBD. Just keep an eye out for the slight side effects, maybe some sleepiness and drowsiness, but for the most part, at the doses that people take to get an effect, side effects are relatively rare. So that will conclude our series, and we'll be around to answer questions and also be doing other much more educational content here in the near future. So keep an eye out for that. I just want to give a wave to everybody and say thanks for joining me today. And as always, if you're starting CBD, make sure to speak to your physician to make sure there's no medical conditions or medications you're taking that might have interactions. Feel free to visit SperoCBD.com for premium CBD products as well as educational content. And I just want to say we'll see you soon. Thanks for joining me. And as always, stay healthy and safe travels.